Hey guys, welcome to Watch with Poppy. Tonight we're going to be talking about this week's episode of Empire, which was aptly named Sins of the Father. So before we talk about that, I just want to mention that you guys should come find me on Twitter. You can find me at Watch with Poppy. You guys, I live tweet a ton of different shows during the week, so if you're interested in kind of connecting with me that way, definitely check it out. Okay, so let's talk about this episode, you guys. I mean, I'm not going to go scene by scene, but let's just talk about some of the huge moments. And I kind of have a few other little observations. So obviously the big reveal in this episode, really kind of the big scene, is this scene towards the end of the episode. We get that Olivia, who is Lola's mother, she disappeared a couple of episodes ago, leaving Lola with Jamal, her daddy. And we've seen this affection for Lola really grow in Jamal, right? In this episode, he even takes the step where he goes to his dad and he's like, I want to have Lola move in with me. I'm her father. I want to take care of her. Olivia's really running, right, from her ex, who we get is crazy. And it sounds like he was pretty abusive. By the end of the episode, the two of them end up at Lucius's house. Now, I must say, the big reveal, they kind of gave it away at the beginning, right? I mean, we saw this flashback scene back in the day, and let's talk about that for a second, right? Because Mary J. Blige, who I love, first of all. Second of all, Jamal's hair in this flashback was just, I don't know that there was ever a time when that hair was in style. But anyway, you guys, so in this flashback, we see this kind of moment happen between Olivia and Lucius. We see this look kind of pass between the two of them. As soon as I saw that, I knew what was going to happen. The big reveal at the end of the episode is that Lucius is actually Lola's father, not Jamal. Just when you think this man can't go any lower, can't hurt his family anymore, he manages to do it. So yeah, dude is waving a gun. He's threatening to kill Jamal, which is why Lucius actually gives up the information because he's trying to save him. During that scene too, I thought it was really interesting because I follow the Empire writers on Twitter, and they actually tweeted during that scene something about Lucius. This is Lucius's confession. And I thought that was such an interesting choice of words, right? Because we get that Lucius is dying, right? And so he should be this character that's moving to a place that is super honest in his life, when really he has not gotten there at all. This situation, though, causes him to really realize how much the people around him just hate him. He's telling this guy, don't shoot him, shoot me. I'm the baby's father. I'm the one who made him get married. And then he starts to go through each of the people in the room and tell this boy all of the awful things he's done to these people. It was just very telling, and just what a moment. He's such an interesting character to me. He's so controlling, right? And here he is dying, and that's the one thing he can't control. And yet it's like he's trying to grasp control in all the other areas of his life. He tries to control the people around him. It's just deep. Let's talk about Cookie, because she's just my favorite thing ever. Lucius really tries to control Cookie in this episode quite a lot as well. He really gets to the point where he decides, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with Cookie, which is amazing to me since at the beginning of last week's episode, he was planning his wedding to another woman. But this week, he has decided that it's him and Cookie to the end. He really kind of prepares everything for Cookie, just assuming really that she's going to say yes, that she's going to buy into all of this. But we get that Cookie's not buying it anymore, there's this big scene at the end of the episode where he tries to come and put the charm on, and she's pretty much like, I don't think so. Everything you touch, you mess up. Look at what you did to my sons. I love that when she said that to him. And he's doing the whole oh, baby, come on, I'm going to do better, blah, blah, blah. But she's not buying it. And she really drops some truth when she tells him, you're just saying this because you don't want to die alone, which is really the truth. Let's talk about Malcolm and Cookie, right? Because these two are definitely headed for a collision course. He comes to her to say, hey, I can't stop thinking about you. And they just, have this tension that's going on between the two of them until the very end of the episode, when she just goes to him and tells him look, I want to be alone with you. And he says something so funny well, let's make that happen, or something like that. It was just hilarious. Lucius is definitely picking up on the vibe between these two. So something tells me that Malcolm either is not long for this world or is about to get fired. One of my other favorite moments was between Lucius and Rhonda, Andre's wife. Poor little Rhonda, right? Who always gets this, like, you know, rich white girl, whatever, tossed in her face. And she has finally had it, right? And she just snapped, and I kind of loved it. The thought behind the scene was this fact that Lucius kept making assumptions about who she was. And so she finally told him, like, you don't know who I am. I've been married to your son for 10 years, but you don't know me. And then she, like, tells him, like, I worked for everything I have. And I just was like, oh, come on, Rhonda, you go, girl, you go. She even got a little nod of respect from Cookie. So there you go. Lucius has pretty much turned everyone against him. You know, look what he did to Jamal, with Lola and Olivia. Look what he's done to Andre, you know, by ignoring him. And then even Hakeem, you know, he ends up trying to pay off Camilla, ends up like putting her on a plane and sending her away. Yeah, I just have no idea what Lucius is thinking, other than the fact that he's just being who he is and trying to control everyone around him. But you know what? That never works out very well for anyone. Next week's episode is the finale for season 1, you guys, and I'm just super sad about that, but also kind of excited because it is a 2-hour-long episode. I cannot wait. We kind of saw Lucius get rejected at the end of the episode, and I think next week we're gonna really see his response to that. Let's remember, this is the same man who likes to think that he did everything by himself. You know, that's what he told Vernon. This is mine. Like, I made this. He won't acknowledge the fact that there are other people around him that have contributed to his success. I just think he's gonna react by trying to take everything from everyone. Like, you ungrateful people, look what I tried to do for you. And if you won't take what I'm gonna give you, then I'm taking it all. I guess we will have to wait and see what happens. You guys, I would love to hear what you guys thought about this week's episode. Don't forget to tell me about that down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.